Hey guys, in today's video we're going to talk about Yamoshi, the first goddess of Saiyans, in a full-color fan manga. Yamoshi will return, but in a different form, to help Goku and his friends save the Earth from a terrible enemy. But for Goku to find new information about Yamoshi, we will need Shenron's help again, and you will see this amazing story now. So get one bucket of popcorn and your soda, and come with me. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Well, without further ado, let's get started. In the 7th universe. Currently in the 7th universe, more precisely in Yamoshi's house, which was located next to Yuhiko's house, it was possible to see that in the kitchen were Goku, Vegeta, and Yamoshi, who at that moment were eating tons of food, while Beerus, Whis, and Yuhiko were sitting at the table near the kitchen eating like civilized people. Unlike the three Saiyans who were eating as if they were the last time they were doing that, everyone at the place except the Saiyans were still surprised at the power that Son Goku and Vegeta possessed when they managed to transform into Super Saiyan God. Beerus said, "This new transformation of Goku and Vegeta seemed to be very strong, but it still doesn't come close to the power that the two have, when they have the power of Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego activated. And even using that power, neither of them was able to withstand Frieza's first attack in his new transformation. And even though the two were already tired because of their previous fights against Gas and Granola, Goku and Vegeta were still at maximum energy. And even they weren't able to withstand more than just a few hits from Frieza. I doubt Goku and Vegeta managed to even touch Frieza." Beerus spoke while looking at the two Saiyans and comparing their power with Frieza's, and even removing the unfavorable conditions that we're in at the moment. Goku and Vegeta wouldn't be able to survive the Emperor's power, or that's what Beerus thought. Whis said, "I must say I agree with you, Mr. Beerus. Mr. Goku and Mr. Vegeta, even using their maximum power currently, they would not be able to defeat Frieza. But if Goku and Vegeta can master the true power of Super Saiyan God and reach the perfect stage, they should be able to face Frieza and defeat him. And as Mr. Vegeta himself said, when Frieza is defeated, Vegeta will use the power of destruction he has to erase Frieza's existence forever. So we will never have to worry about him again. And Mr. Beerus won't have to keep training in secret to be stronger in case Frieza tries to kill him in the future, to take the post of God of Destruction from Mr. Beerus," said the angel while drinking tea in a calm way. But because of the angel's speech, Beerus ended up spitting out his tea that he was drinking, and the rest of the group stopped what they were doing and looked at Beerus and Whis. Goku said, "How so? Is Mr. Beerus training in secret because he's afraid of being killed and losing his post of God of Destruction of the 7th universe to Frieza?" asked the Saiyan while he stopped eating a giant piece of meat, and looked at Beerus, who ended up with a big nerve pulsing in his head because of the way the Saiyan ended up speaking. Beerus said, "I'm not afraid of Frieza. I just went back to training because I needed to. And I know that damn Frieza wants my God of Destruction post, and I know he'll do anything to get it. But the main reason I went back to training is because the other gods of destruction are training to get stronger, to be able to face the possible threats that could leave the universe in chaos. Because somehow some beings from an alternate dimension managed to come to our dimension, and they are starting to cause chaos in the universes. And as far as we know, there is at least one of these beings in each universe, including ours. But Whis and I still haven't found that being," said the God of Destruction of the 7th universe, irritated by the way Goku had spoken. But what caught everyone's attention was the fact that there are other dimensions and beings coming from them and creating chaos in all 12 universes of their dimension. Vegeta thought, "That worm Frieza really wants to take Beerus' post as the God of Destruction. But that post as the future God of Destruction of the 7th universe is mine," thought the Prince of the Saiyans angrily, because someone like Frieza wanted to take the post of future God of Destruction that already belonged to him, since the moment Vegeta was trained by Beerus to get the power of destruction. Vegeta said, "If Frieza's insect wasn't enough causing problems, now there are beings coming from other dimensions to our dimension to search and destroy us. Do you not know who the individual who came to our dimension is? Do you even know how many beings came to the 7th universe?" asked the Prince of Saiyan, looking at Whis and Beerus, who thought for a few seconds. Whis said, "From what I felt during the last few days, I know there must be at least 5 individuals from another dimension who are here in the 7th universe. But at some time, one of them ended up being killed by someone who must live near this planet, or he lives here on Namek," said the angel before looking at Yuhiko, who looked at Yamoshi. Yamoshi said, "If you're talking about a boy with the face of a lion who had a very strange energy, then I was responsible for killing him, and I say that boy was really annoying to face." In reality, I didn't kill him. I just made the boy very wounded, and Yuhiko used one of her techniques to seal that boy in a crystal. Then I destroyed the crystal with him inside. So I could say that the lion-faced boy is really dead or not, doesn't matter to me, Yamoshi said before going back to eating a big piece of steak from some animal that had green meat. Beerus said, "So, you already managed to face one of them. How strong was he?" asked the god of destruction while looking at the ancestor of the Saiyans who was eating peacefully. Yamoshi spoke. "Strong enough to make me take that fight seriously, but weak enough to not make me transform into Super Saiyan God. Only according to that guy, he was the weakest of his group. The others were as strong as the gods, so I would say that the strongest of that group is as strong as Beerus, or they think so. But in my opinion, they are very weak, because their bodies are still adjusting to the dimension change. So I recommend going after them right before these beings get stronger. And if possible, go after someone who knows how to use some techniques that allow you to seal other beings, since their bodies and energy are still stable. So sealing these beings should be easy when you throw them somewhere, or use the power of destruction to erase their existence along with the seal," said the ancestor of the Saiyans, looking at Beerus, who stayed happy with that information. After all, he knew someone who had the ability to seal other beings, and he would be very useful at that moment. Yuhiko said, "When that guy with the face of a lion invaded the village, I found it strange that he hadn't been detected by the barrier. But later I memorized his energy and reinforced the barrier. And now any being that has energy similar to his will be detected by the barrier. So I think this should be useful for you because this crystal has some energy that the lion-faced guy had. So it will be good for you to take and be able to track these beings using the rest of the energy," said the elder of the village, making a crystal appear out of nowhere. Then Yuhiko throws it to Whis, who caught it still in the air. Whis said, "This will be very useful for me and the other angels because we can create a tracking device to find beings from another dimension. I thank you on my behalf and on behalf of all other divine beings, including my father, the High Priest," said the angel, thanking him. After all, thanks to Yuhiko and Yamoshi, the angel could find all beings from other dimensions. Goku said, "Leaving that subject aside, I'd like to know why Vegeta and I can feel Beerus' power and not Yamoshi's. Is Yamoshi stronger than Mr. Beerus by any chance?" asked the Saiyan while looking at his ancestor and then at Beerus. Yamoshi said, "You can feel Beerus' power, but only the power that he allows you to feel, because his full power neither of you can really feel. And you can't feel my power because I know how to hide it very well. And I also have the enchanted item that hides my divine ki, as I said before. But if you want, I can release some of it," said the ancestor, looking at Goku and Vegeta, who ended up looking at Beerus, who gave a slight smile. When he saw that now they knew that the power of the two Saiyans felt was not the full power of Beerus. Then the two turned to look at Yamoshi. Goku said, "If possible, we'd like to know how strong you are, or at least feel a little of your power," said the Saiyan to Yamoshi. Yamoshi, hearing that, sighed and began to release a little of her power, making Goku and Vegeta fall to their knees when they felt the aura of the ancestor over their bodies. Both Saiyans had one hand on their necks, trying to get air, because the force that was on top of Goku and Vegeta was so big that the two Saiyans couldn't breathe, and because of that, Goku and Vegeta ended up passing out. Yamoshi spoke. "I think I overdid it." Yamoshi spoke as she scratched the back of her neck and stopped releasing the energy. Currently on the 7th universe, more precisely in the house where Yamoshi lived in the hidden village on the planet Namek, it was possible to see that Goku and Vegeta were lying on two mattresses on the floor of the living room. The Saiyans were resting after being knocked out by Yamoshi, who only demonstrated some of her power. But even Yamoshi showed just a little of her power. It was enough to make both Saiyans lose consciousness and fall to the ground. Minutes after Yuhiko had placed two mattresses in the room, Yamoshi then placed both Saiyans on the mattresses to rest. Goku and Vegeta were tired from their last training with Yamoshi. After several hours sleeping, Goku and Vegeta started to wake up, and Vegeta, after waking up from his sleep, he sat on the mattress and looked towards the kitchen where Yamoshi was eating something. And judging by the amount of empty and dirty dishes, she should already be eating for some time. Yamoshi said, "I thought I had killed you two because of the pressure my power put on your bodies. You ended up falling when I released a little of my power. I should have told you two to transform into Super Saiyan God, so that you wouldn't pass out so easily when you felt a fraction of my power. I took it easy and you still passed out." Yamoshi spoke with a smile on her face, as she looked at the Prince of Saiyans, who was embarrassed by that. But even though he didn't like it, Vegeta knew he was too weak. Vegeta said, "Thanks again for throwing it in my face that me and Kakarot are very weak compared to you, Yamoshi," said the Prince of Saiyans in a bitter tone. Vegeta didn't like to admit that he was weaker than someone. Yamoshi said, "Wake your friend so we can go back to the room of time and continue the training of you two. After all, you've rested too much, and I don't have so much time to waste with you slacking off," Yamoshi said while looking at the Prince of the Saiyans, who followed Yamoshi's orders. Vegeta said, "Wait, why is Kakarot wearing new clothes? Actually, why am I wearing new clothes? I don't remember having changed before I passed out," asked the Prince of Saiyans, confused and surprised by the fact that he was wearing a completely new training suit, different from the destroyed suit he was using before. Yamoshi said, "Well, you two were knocked out and I didn't want to waste time, so when Yuhiko left to do her work as an elder and Beerus and the Angel Whis left to take care of beings from other dimensions, I ended up exchanging you two. So, you're welcome," Yamoshi said with a slight smile on her face, while looking maliciously at Vegeta, who ended up getting embarrassed, and he realized that the clothes he and Goku were wearing were tight, and because of that the Prince of Saiyans ended up not wearing any clothes underneath. Vegeta thought, "If Bulma finds out something like that, I'll definitely be sleeping on the couch for several weeks, and I hate sleeping on the couch," thought the Prince of Saiyans, imagining his wife's look of fury in case she discovered that. And even though Vegeta was a strong Saiyan, he was afraid of his wife when she was angry or jealous. After leaving his thoughts, Vegeta woke up his Saiyan rival, who was sleeping very peacefully. Vegeta, knowing how Goku was difficult to wake up, the Prince of Saiyans ended up hitting Goku in the stomach, making him wake up immediately, and Yamoshi, who was watching that, thought the relation between those two was based on rivalry and hatred, and apparently Vegeta was the hater in that relationship. Yamoshi thought, "These two remind me of the rivalry I had with my Saiyan friends who helped me become a goddess for the first time. Those times were good. Back then I had friends, and I also had a family, but that's in the past, and I want to leave it in the past." Yamoshi thought a little wistfully as she thought about the past where things were easier for Yamoshi and there was no one there either chasing to kill her back then. Yamoshi said, "Now that you're awake, it's time to go train, but this time you two will fight against some of the elite soldiers of this village. Let's see if you're really stronger," Yamoshi said, walking out of her house, and the two Saiyans, seeing that, began to follow her to a training area where there were some Namekians training, and soon everyone had their attention turned to the village guardian. Yamoshi said, "Benimaru, Kiranu, you two are going to fight these two Saiyans today. I want to see the level of power that these two Saiyans have when using the power of Super Saiyan God in the first stage. And I also want to know if you two haven't been taking it easy on your training lately," said the Saiyan while approaching two Namekians who possessed their green skin coloring like Yuhiko. Benimaru said, "We both haven't stopped training during these last 2 months, Master Yamoshi, and I guarantee that we are stronger than before," said one of the Namekians who had an iron spear in one of his hands. Kinaru said, "Telling you the level of our strength is useless, Master, but since you want us to fight these two Saiyans, we'll fight. But I'm sure we won't be able to face them if those two Saiyans use those forms they used against the elderly Yuhiko during the duel between them," said the second Namekian, who had a sword on his back. Kinaru was staring at Goku and Vegeta. Yamoshi said, "Don't worry, Kinaru. Goku and Vegeta will not use that form, but a transformation that they recently acquired. And judging by the level of strength that you and Benimaru had previously, you have a great chance of winning against these two Saiyans. But for that, you must fight with everything. And the same goes for you two, Goku and Vegeta." Yamoshi spoke while looking at the two Namekians, and then at the two Saiyans, and then all 4 warriors nodded in agreement. Goku said, "Since it's like that, then let's see how strong you two are," said the Saiyan, looking excitedly at the two Namekians. Benimaru said, "Let's see if you two are strong without using those transformations you learned from the God of Destruction and his angel," said the spear-using Namekian while looking at Goku, who had a big smile on his face. Goku and Vegeta, along with Benimaru and Kinaru, headed towards a small arena, attracting the attention of all the other Namekians, who ended up stopping their training to watch that fight. Goku and Vegeta were on one side of the arena, while Benimaru and Kinaru were on the opposite side of the arena. After a few seconds looking at each other, the 4 warriors began to increase their power. And with that, Goku and Vegeta transformed into the Super Saiyan God forms in the first stage, assuming the same appearance as before. and seeing that, Benimaru and Kinaru ended up assuming a different form. Benimaru ended up assuming a form in a golden tone, with red details on his body, and Kinaru was with a silver tone with blue details on his body. After the duos transformed, both advanced towards each other. Benimaru ended up starting a melee fight with Goku, and Vegeta ended up starting a melee confrontation with Kinaru. While everyone was paying attention to the confrontation between the two Saiyans against the two Namekians, Yamoshi was watching the entire confrontation between them, analyzing the strength of those warriors. But it didn't take long for Yuhiko to appear beside Yamoshi, and by her expression it was clear that Yuhiko was bringing bad news. Yamoshi said, "Yuhiko, what happened? From your face something bad must have happened, and if it's related to the Black Namekians, I don't even want to know, because I won't marry that arrogant idiot," said the ancestor of the Saiyans while looking at her friend who approached her with short steps. Yuhiko said, "You showing a little of your power earlier was a bad idea," Yuhiko said while looking at the floor, not wanting to look at Yamoshi's face, who found that very strange. Yamoshi said, "Yuhiko, you know I hate it when someone is being mysterious. Say at once what you..." Yamoshi said before looking at Yuhiko's face, who had a cold and serious expression in her face. Yuhiko said, "He woke up again." Yuhiko said just with the sentence, Yamoshi's eyes widened because she knew very well who Yuhiko was talking about. Somewhere in the 7th universe. In one of the thousands of existing planets in the 7th universe, it was possible to see that a planet was being attacked by an extremely powerful enemy that had caused enormous destruction throughout the planet. At that moment, the being responsible for all that was sitting on a pile of rubble of a city he had destroyed. The mysterious being spoke. "It seems you are not on this planet, my dear sweet Yamoshi. I hope you release your power again. After all, I miss seeing my dear and beloved wife that I haven't seen for a while," spoke the mysterious being with a psychotic smile on his face, while his tail swung on one side to the other, showing that he was a Saiyan. With that, we'll end today's video. If you want to see the continuation of this incredible story, leave a lot of likes on the video and comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you another day, guys!